Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to all of you. I hope you're all doing well. Can I get a number one if I'm coming in loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen? Let me see. Until I see my number ones, I'll go ahead and say hello to Linda Bob. How you doing? Michelle Wagner, Michelle Shiancone. Man, your names are getting more and more creative. Pala Pala K, Bad Bobber. How you doing? ArcMed7. Keisha Wagner is in the house. How you doing, Keisha Wagner? And I see that all of our moderators are in the house as well. Very happy to see JT in the house. It means that she has power all the way there in Florida. So good to see you, JT. Yarn Prepper, Miss Worm, and you, Jan. Seabass is here. River Rafter, how you doing? Ali, how are you doing? Good to see you. I'm getting number ones from everyone. That's great. Mars Sons, how you doing? Good to see you all the way from Newfoundland, Canada. Welcome. All right, so we've got a couple of things to talk about today. One of them is kind of breaking news. It has nothing to do with the title that I created for this live stream. We are going to go over that pretty much in depth. But first, I wanted to talk about some breaking news, which is being said thus far. I think that in the end, it's going to be realized that maybe this wasn't really a third assassination attempt, but we'll go with that. Let's take a look at what they have to say here. An armed man arrested outside a Trump rally, and this was in California. As sheriff says, it was a possible assassination attempt that they thwarted. And let me see. Let's bring this up here. Okay, let's see what they have to say, ladies and gentlemen, being that this happened just, I believe, a few hours back. It says here that police at Donald Trump's rally on Saturday in Coachella Valley, California, stopped what a sheriff suggested might have been a third assassination attempt against the former president. Deputies stopped suspect Vem Miller in a black SUV at around 5 p.m., about a half mile from the rally, after he allegedly managed to make it through an initial security checkpoint by claiming VIP and media credentials. At a second stop, a deputy noticed that Miller's SUV was in disarray with an obviously fake license plate, prompting deputies to investigate further. Well, I have to say that at least they were doing their job out there, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're supposed to be doing for either any sitting president and, in my opinion, any former president as well. Miller allegedly had multiple driver's license and passports with different names and possessed a loaded hand pistol, handgun, and a shotgun as well. This incident did not impact the safety of former President Trump or the attendees at the event. The 49-year-old Southern California news group, he was shocked to hear the arrest being described as an assassination plot and denied was there to harm Trump, telling the outlet he's a supporter of the former president. These accusations are complete bull butter, said Miller. I am an artist. I am the last person that would cause any violence and harm to anyone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what do you all think? Do you think that was another assassination attempt, or just the police or the sheriff department and they're being extra cautious? I rather them be a little extra cautious than not. And I guess we'll just have to see where this story goes. I know that social media right now is kind of like blowing up with everyone saying it was an assassination attempt. But after reading this, I'm not sure. Maybe we're 50-50 on whether it was or not. But in the end, what matters is that no one got hurt, that there were no shots taken, and President Trump will live another day to try to fight for that top spot at the Oval Office. Let's see. Robin White, how you doing? Good to see you. Janisa Klein. Let me see. A.M. Ryan, how are you doing? Good to see you. Angry American, how are you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Annie P. Devin Steve, how are you doing? Let's see. Joplin Mike, good to see you. Scott Hummer is in the house. I'm looking for someone in particular. If you saw the video that I put out yesterday, There was someone, I think her first name was Laura, who was talking about a water filter that she could no longer get at Simpure. And I left a message for her, for you, Laura, on the video that I put out yesterday. And hopefully you saw that and that you will email me because I have some news for you in regard to that. Brent Winfield is in the house. How you doing, Brent? Good to see you. Winning streak is here. Joplin Mike. Alan Greenspan made it again. Stop printing so much money, Alan Greenspan. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that the Federal Reserve is actually losing money on the regular now? So the Federal Reserve, since its creation back in 1913, has never lost any money. And just in the last year and a half, it's been losing money on a regular basis. What does that say? That the Federal Reserve is not a bank. It has no reserves, and it really doesn't have any money of any kind. It was only put there in order to create fiat currency, which in turn just steals from you your wealth. But I won't get on that today. That's not what this one's about. Kidsy Woodsy, how you doing? Good to see you. Forrest is in the house. Dark Knight Cowboy, how you doing? Let's see. Okay, let's see. Lynn C says it was not an attempt. The guy is a co-founder and a journalist for America Happens Network. He has worked rallies for Trump a long time. So that's a good thing that it was not an attempt. From what I understand, reading a little bit further into that article, it said there that they released him on $5,000 bond, and that the charge was that he had a loaded firearm that was not registered, I guess, in the state of California. Because in the state of California, you're supposed to register your firearms, and you're not supposed to have any magazines that are over the capacity of, I believe, it's 10 rounds. Correct me if I'm wrong, anyone on the comments there, if what I said was wrong. Let's see. D. Foley says they say his social media shows he is a Trump supporter. He has attended other rallies. Okay, good. See, and this is one of the reasons why, like, I know there's a lot of other channels out there saying, hey, there was another attempt on President Trump. It's one of the reasons why I like to wait a little bit. I just thought it'd be interesting to open up the live stream with this so that you all can go ahead and let me know what you know, which is always a good thing. And like I said, from reading that one short article, I didn't think that it was necessarily an attempt. Maybe the sheriff is trying to grab a little bit of grandeur for his department. Who knows? A Carmen Iris Hidalgo. Carmen Iris Hidalgo. How are you doing? Thank you very much for being here all the way from Puerto Rico. And thank you for the kind words, Carmen. Truly do appreciate it. Robin White is in the house. Happy Sunday to you as well. And Kevin Grip is here too, along with Natisha Merced. How are you doing, Nakisha? Nishka. Let me see. Matt says, why did he have weapons in the vehicle, especially in California of all places? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think that he should be prosecuted for having weapons in his vehicle unless he is an ex-convict, right? Because that is the law. Whether we believe that a convict who is now free has paid his or her, has paid his or her price to society, right, for whatever wrongdoing they may have done. Whether we believe that they should also be able to, carry firearms as well, like everyone else. They've already paid society back for whatever it is that they did wrong if they're back out free, right? Or whether we believe that they shouldn't carry it. The law is that they're not supposed to have firearms, right? So I can understand that if he is a prior convict, a prior felon, and they charge him for having firearms, that's fine because that is the law, right? That's the law that we, the people, decided on. However, if he's not, I don't think that they should have charged him on anything, especially being that he was not in a posture that would be trying to hurt anyone, meaning that he wasn't laying down, aiming his firearm at anyone. His firearms were in his vehicle. And being that he had loaded firearms in his vehicle, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. I believe that that is protected under the Second Amendment. However, in California, they do things a little bit different. Unfortunately, that is. Let's see, let's see. And we do have something very important to talk about that I actually just looked up to make sure that I was getting some right information, or that that article has right information. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that the government has given itself the power to use lethal force against American with troops, with military troops. You know, back when 45 was in office, all I ever heard was, this guy's going to start World War III. All right, we're going to get into a nuclear war. Did it happen? No, it actually happened to be one of the most peaceful administrations that we've ever had. No wars started. The Middle East was at peace. He was negotiating peace contracts between countries that didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to have anything to do with each other for the last several decades, and he was negotiating peace contracts with them. No new wars, right? He was trying to bring our troops home, but he kept getting blocked by people that got in his way. You know, people in his administration, I would call them rhinos, you know, that got in his way. What was I getting at here? And also saying, oh, he's a dictator. He's going to be the new little guy with the small mustache, right? That's who he's going to be. He's going to be all these things. However, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that with this administration, nothing is going too far. You know, now they've gone ahead and given themselves the power to be able to actually use the military against the American people, against civilians, not only with force enough to, you know, let's say get them off the streets, or to maybe make whoever it is safe that they may be protecting, but with lethal force. You know, ladies and gentlemen, and I believe that that comes down to the Secretary of Defense. He can actually authorize the military to use lethal force on American civilians, something that's never been done before. So why is it that now they're authorizing that? Why is it that now they gave themselves that power? You know, I would think that this administration is using dictatorial rule over anything that the last administration did. People that think that this administration is better for America, in my opinion, is rockers, right? You have to really get your head out of the sand, or get it out of your six. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that here in a minute, as soon as I can pull that up. Mario asks, when am I going to do more prepping on the cheap videos? Well, I have to find stuff that we can do to prep on the cheap. However, I do have a video coming up that, you know what, I'm not going to spoil it, okay? Because the video is not ready yet. It'll probably be ready later on this week. But I have a video coming up on a food company that I really never, ever liked, all right? I never liked this food company. I never liked their brand. And they came out with some new stuff that's actually really, really good. I'm not done shooting the video yet, but when I do, I'll put it up, and I'll have to hope that you watch those. But when I do those prepping on the cheap videos, I don't really go out looking for stuff that's cheap, right? That you can prep with. I just do it organically. So if I see something that I'm like, wow, that's a great deal, and this is something that you can actually use to be prepared, I go ahead and do a prepping on the cheap video. And yes, I enjoy doing those videos, but I haven't really had time to do any, but I haven't really found anything that's a good prepping on the cheap item. If you know of any prepping on the cheap items that you want me to review, go ahead and send me an email, and hopefully I'll be able to find them, get them, and actually do a video with them. Tim Hardison, good to see you as well. Let me see. All right, go check out Yarn Prepper's new sponsor for her Instagram. All right, there you go. Sweet. Support those people that are always here supporting us, ladies and gentlemen, and our moderators are definitely always here supporting us. Sue Ladine, good to see you. I'm happy that you're here during the live. Evita is in the house. How are you doing? JR, if I don't see you, let me say hello to you as well, my friend. Liz Watson, how are you doing? Yes, the algorithm has not favored my channel for a very long time now, but we're going to keep struggling on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to keep going forward. Thank you for being here, by the way. Michael Stacking is in the house. Good to see you. Kitsy Wootsies, thank you very much. Same to you and your family as well. Blessings. Thank you. Well, Evita, just in case I miss seeing JR, make sure you let him know that I did say hello. All right, let's bring it down a little bit before we go on to our next story. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to our next story, and then we will open it up to the chats. Okay. I think it works a little bit better when I do it this way. That way, people that don't have an hour and 15 minutes or so, however long the live goes, to spend on that, can get the meat and potatoes up front, and then we can go back and forth and give shout outs and all those kinds of things towards the second half. I think that works out better. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The marked one, how you doing? All the way from Tejas. All right, let's bring it on down some. Skipping Rocks is in the house. Kitsy Witsy, how you doing? Bartholomew, how you doing? Good. Hey, good to see you, Bartholomew. Legendary, I like that. All the way from Anchorage, Alaska. Good to see you. Welcome. Anyone that lives in Fairbanks or can get to Fairbanks and you need a solar generator, I'm trying to recoup a little bit of the funds that it cost me to get them shipped up here. So I've got a few solar generator reviews that I have to do. I'm actually going to try and finish one tomorrow that I've been working on for like a month, so I can put it up. But the catch is that now, in order for me to get a solar generator up here, I have to pay for most of the shipping, and it's not really cheap. So anyone in the Fairbanks area, if you need a solar generator, I'm going to try to recoup some of the shipping costs that it cost me to bring them up here by selling them, but I'm going to sell them on the cheap. Right? I already sold one at a incredible discount, right? Because I'm not trying to get rich off this stuff. I'm just trying to recoup some of the money that I paid for shipping myself. So send me an email if you live in Fairbanks or you can get to Fairbanks, and I'll let you know what I have and what they're being sold for. And then if you're interested, we can take it from there. I've been meaning to say that for the longest time, but I keep forgetting. I am getting a lot of solar generators stacked up now, so I have to get rid of them sooner or later. I've probably given away about 20 solar generators in the last several years that I've been doing this. But let's see. Okay. Did any of you get to see the auroras, or any of you positioned in the United States or in the world where you were able to see the auroras of the last two pretty big solar storms that we've had? Let us know, because I got to see a little bit of it, but we had a very, very cloudy night that night and day as well. So didn't get to see as much as I would like. All right. Bringing it down, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get on to our next story. Okay. Let's see. Who's Ron? Let me see if I can find this person real quick. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, Ron. No, I don't freeze dry anymore. I pretty much paid that forward. I've got all the freeze dried meats really that I can handle right now. I'm going to concentrate on getting more canned meat and pressure canning meat, because the truth is that I rather pressure can meats because I just think they taste a lot better. But there's definitely a place for freeze dry meats and foods in every prepper pantry. So if you ever have the ability to put away freeze dry foods, I recommend it only after your pantry has, in my opinion, this is what I like. You can change the number of you like. I think that a 1 year supply of pretty much the foods that you eat on a regular basis in your pantry is a good starting point for you to start diversifying, I guess, into other types of storable foods like freeze dried meats, dehydrated, pressure can, all that kind of stuff. Let's see. RG71 says, yes, we had a great show for the Northern Lights here in Wisconsin. Awesome. And Jeff Rummel says, why so many this year? Also, the colors are different. Well, it's that we are almost at the height of this solar maximum cycle. For those of you that don't know, the sun goes through two different cycles that are what I call microcycles. They're 11.3-year cycles. One is being a solar maximum cycle, where there are more sunspots on the sun, and one being a solar minimum cycle where there is less sun activity, right? So next year, 2025, or this year and next year, 2024, 2025, are the height of the solar maximum cycle. So we're going to be seeing a lot of solar storms, comparatively speaking, to a solar minimum cycle. And being that this is the height of this cycle, we're going to see a lot more. All we can do is hope that we don't get I guess what you can call a planet killer or a technology killer, like one of the ones that happened in 1859, the Carrington event. The scientists say that if we had one like that today, that it would pretty much knock out all technology, all electricity, etc. And that's another really, really good reason, ladies and gentlemen, to be prepared as best as you can, because it's not really a matter of when will it happen, right? Actually, it's not a matter of if it will happen, but when will it happen, right? So they've talked about this in Congress, and books have been written, papers have been written about it. It's going to happen again eventually, and we have to be prepared for that. Now, as a country, I don't believe that we are prepared. As a world, I don't believe that we are prepared. But you can prepare as an individual, as a community, right? Even as a state, you can be prepared. Okay. Let's see. Evita says, open question. Milton took our roof, had some insurance for 12 years. Should I file a claim or pay out of pocket to replace the roof? In Florida, they may drop us after. Man, I'll tell you what, Evita, if I pay for that insurance for 12 years and I need a new roof, that insurance is going to pay for my roof. They want to drop me, go ahead and drop me. But you're going to pay for my roof. And then if I have to find a new insurance, then I will. But for them to use the threat of that they may drop you if you use them for what you're paying them for, I don't go with that. If you need to replace your roof and you have insurance for it, then replace your roof, and then I would just take it from there. All right. Well, man, Kim's Clucker says that her freeze dryer quit after about a year and a half. Don't those things come with like a 3 or 5 year warranty or something like that? I would definitely check in on that and see if it comes with a warranty. All right, let's go ahead and talk about something else. Let's go ahead and talk about what this live stream was supposed to be about, anyways. Let me see where we got here. Boom. Give me a second. Stop. Okay, let's present. Okay, let's see. Boom, boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when I first saw this, I wasn't sure if this was true or not, but then I did do a tiny bit of digging. I hope that you guys will dig a bit as well to make sure that if I'm proposing something here that's not factual, that you keep me in check. But so far, from what I can see, this is true. The U.S. military is now authorized to use lethal force on Americans on U.S. soil. That is a very scary thing. I think this is something that everyone in the country should know about and should be up in arms about. Let's go ahead and see what this has to say. As the U.S. prepares for one of the most controversial and closely watched contests in its history, a concerning update to DoD Directive 5240.1.01 has quietly been put into effect. And if any of you want to fact check this while I'm reading it, go ahead and fact check it. I already did a fact check on it, and it turns out to be real, but I'm going to show you my fact check as well. Reissued on September 27, 2024, this directive governs the DoD intelligence activities and now includes provisions authorizing lethal force in certain circumstances. What circumstances are those? What certain circumstances are those, ladies and gentlemen? That's the question. When assisting civilian law enforcement, While the directive forbids assassination, it opens the door to lethal interventions under national security conditions. My question would be this, and if anyone can answer it, please do so in all caps so I can catch it. But wait until I'm done reading off of this. My question is the military, is the active duty military, I understand that National Guard is different, all right? They're not the military that's governed by the federal government, that's controlled by the federal government, the commander in chief, right? Um, uh, I thought they're not supposed to be working with law enforcement anyways. They're the military. They're supposed to protect us from invaders, which they are not. Not their fault. It's that they're not being ordered to protect us from the invasion that's happening from the south. And they're also supposed to, fight our wars, I guess. Whether you agree with it or not, that's what they're used for, right? So why does this even say that they can assist local enforcement offices like your sheriffs, police, and troopers? I don't understand. It says here that the 2024 version expands the military's role, particularly in assisting civil law enforcement and authorities lethal and authorizes, lethal force under specific conditions, raising questions about its use during potential civil unrest. Why are they coming with this just now? Remember remember that event 201 that occurred about 3 or 4 months, I think it was September of 2019, which was a test to see what would happen if a health crisis occurred. Remember that happened, and then about 3 or 4 months later, it actually happened. Pretty much the same thing they were talking about, and now this reminds me of that. They're putting this into place and pretty much giving the authority to one person, really. It says here that the approval authority is going to be the Secretary of Defense. I'm sure that the Secretary of Defense is going to act under the President of the United States, right? Because if the Secretary of Defense gives the authority, the President of the United States can just shut it down. But the Secretary of Defense has the authority to say that military can go ahead and work with civilian law enforcement and use lethal force under circumstances, right? Under certain circumstances, but they don't tell us what circumstances those are. So the Secretary of State can say that assistance in responding with assets with potential for lethality or any situation in which it is reasonably foreseeable that providing the requested assistance may involve the use of force that is likely to result in lethal force, including death or serious bodily injury. It also includes all support to civilian law enforcement officials in situations where a confrontation between civilian law enforcement and civilian individuals or groups is reasonably anticipated. So they're talking about using the military on U.S. soil, ladies and gentlemen, against American civilians. The U.S. military, for the record, is expressly prohibited from engaging domestically with the citizenry, with very specific and narrow exceptions, per the Posse Comitatus. I'm sure you've all heard that before. Whoever, except in cases and under circumstances expressly authorized by the Constitution or Act of Congress, willfully uses any part of the Army, the Navy, the Marine Corps, the Air Force, or the new Space Force as a posse comitatus or otherwise to execute the laws shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 2 years or both. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is something that I think that we ought to be very aware of. I talk to a lot of military personnel, right? From different ages. And one of the things that I tell them that I try to bring up in conversation is, have you read the Constitution? And do you know what the amendments are and what they mean? And do you know what a lawful order is? And I would just hope that there are enough people in the military that understand that Posse Comitatus is there for a reason, and it is so that they do not have to find themselves accepting an order or following an order by one of their superiors that would tell them to use lethal force against Americans on our own soil. And ladies and gentlemen, these are the things that they do with these bills. Thank goodness for some of these, groups that actually read every single word on every bill or every law that is signed. Because without them, we'd probably be lost. However, I feel that this is one of those things that won't even make the news cycle. Why? Because everyone is talking about what happened today with the supposed assassination attempt, and this is just going to go by the wayside. Unfortunately, that is. And yes, you can say they're setting the stage. I had a conversation with a very nice gentleman here a while back, and he said, "This is what he said." Okay, now, I'm not saying this. This is what he said. I agree with a lot of what he said, but he said that it does not matter what we do, that there is going to be a force that takes power, and he didn't mean like right now. He didn't mean like during this contest that we're going to have in November. He said that eventually there will be a force that takes power, and that they're going to seem to be great. Everyone's going to want them to be in office, but then when they take over, that is going to be the exact opposite. Kind of like what happened with Germany, right? With the little man with the mustache. It's kind of like what happened with him. I believe he had an approval rating or a voting rating of like 98%. I think it was like 98% of the people that voted for the little man with a mustache, right? From Germany. And look at what he ended up doing, right? So I'm not saying that that's 45. I'm not saying that at all. And that's not what he meant. But what I'm saying is that he said it doesn't matter, get prepared, because eventually that will happen. And he was very convinced of it. And that's something to really think about, especially when you read what I just read for you all. Let's see. For riots, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, Trucker Hersey says that they're doing this for riots. And not that I don't agree with Trucker Hersey, but he's got a good point there, that they'll probably say, yeah, this is for riots. Well, ladies and gentlemen, have you seen some of the riots that have occurred in this country in the last 3 or 4 years? If they were going to use that for riots, they probably would have already done so, right? They're not using that for riots. In my humble opinion, they're using that in order to be able to control the people when things start to fall apart, because things will fall apart. Remember, it all comes down to money. These people are only in power because they control a fiat currency that was put in place so that they can control we, the people. That is how the people are controlled, with the fiat currency that is used to steal your wealth, with the regulations that are used to steal more of your wealth and your time, right? And then with all of the laws that they put in place that is used to control every single one that's not one of those 537 that sit up Capitol Hill. Let me see. I think I might have missed Miss Mother Trucker. Thank you very much for that super chat. Truly appreciate it. Oh, yes, D. Foley. I forgot. Those were mostly peaceful demonstrations, not riots. I made a mistake. Mostly peaceful. Man, this is a great Papa Yorn. Papa Yorn. Where do we draw the line at tyranny? You know when, Papa Yorn? People will know when. And it's not yet. You know why? Because I still stand by something that I've said many, many times in the past. And it's that we are going to have to suffer greatly. I mean, greatly, before the people finally realize that we, the people, are the ones that have the power, right? There's 537 people, right, in Washington that pretty much control everything that we do every day. Think about it. I know there's there's people that are governing over them and all that kind of stuff, right? But as far as we know, as far as the average person know, there's 535, and then there's a 2 that are in the White House, right? That pretty much control everything that we do every day, right? And the people, they're not going to wake up and realize that those people are not here for us, that they are there for them and their cronies only, right? That's who they're there for. They decide who wins or loses. And normally it is we, the people, that lose. We lose on a daily. Just with inflation, we lose on a daily. Look at what they tell you. They're like, well, hopefully we'll get our inflation rate down to about 2.3%, 2%. That would be great. What they're telling you by saying that is that, well, hopefully we'll be able to steal 2% from you on an annual basis instead of the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.1% that it got up to that we were stealing before. And those are their numbers. Those aren't even the right numbers. Right now, I would say that inflation is much over 2 or 3% what they're saying it is. But what they're telling you is, ladies and gentlemen, that, yeah, we want to get inflation down to 2%. Yes, we want to get down the stealing that we do, the robbing that we get, that we do towards you, the people, only down to 2% of your wealth every year instead of letting it go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%. And why is that? Because 2% for them is the magic number. 2% for them is where the people are happy. Oh, I'm only being stolen from 2% a year. They don't even notice that they're being stolen from 2%. But when you go ahead and put that out through a lifetime, it means that your average person through their working lifetime of 40 to 50 years long, they will lose a total of about 70%, 60 to 70% of everything they've earned through the power of inflation, right? And that's where it starts. Without them being able to print funny money, something that you can't do, right? Or else you'd go to jail. Without them being able to do that, they wouldn't be able to bribe, or they wouldn't be able to pay for their cronies to do what it is that they want them to do in order to fulfill their agenda or have their agenda go forward. And one day that will collapse. And when that collapses, ladies and gentlemen, everyone is, it doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how poor you are. It doesn't matter how prepped you are. I mean, you want to be prepped so that you can eat, right? But everyone will suffer. Everyone. Right now, the world, pretty much Western nations, right now, they're all spoiled. We haven't seen really hard times in a very, very long time. And the next time that we see really hard times, the people will wake up. Well, the government has to have something up their sleeve in order to control you. And if they can't control you through propaganda, they're going to control you through force. And like someone here in the comments said, they're getting all their chips ready. They're lining up everything they need to line up in order for when that day comes, they can have it ready. Let's see. I've got a couple of super chats. Let me go ahead and say hello and thank you. Thank you, Arheath. It's good to see you, by the way. Mustache Man was a man of the year on Time Magazine in 1938. Yes, indeed. That's right. The little man with the mustache from Germany, he was man of the year. Imagine that. Just like the president that used the most drones of any president ever got the Nobel Peace Prize, right? Let's see what else. Chris Hill, thank you, Chris. Rudy, glad to finally see you on a live stream. Well, good to see you too, Chris. Thanks for what you do. Okay, I hope the chickens are actually doing well. I actually recorded a little video of the chickens today so that I can put it up with my next video. Thank you very much, by the way. But yeah, there is bad news for a few of the chickens. Some of them are going to be going away because of the batch of chicks that we got. They were all supposed to be hens. We paid a little extra to make sure they were all hens, but one of them's a rooster. All right, so now we've got 3 roosters. 2 of them have to go. All right, and there are 3 other hens that I would like to get rid of and put them in the frying pan. But right now, myself and my wife and my daughter are in negotiations on those 3 hens. Which my wife made a very good point. She said, only because you don't like these hens, why don't we still, keep them, because they do produce eggs, right? I'm like, well, that's a good point. I just don't like them because, they're very mean. They're not the same breed as the other ones, and they're very mean to the other hens, and I don't like that. It seems that the other breed, the ones that are all like yellow or blonde, those are really nice to each other, and they don't peck at each other. And the other ones, I call them brownies. I don't know what the name of their breed are. Those chickens are very, very mean. But anyways, we'll see what happens. I'll keep you all filled in. Let's see. Kitsy Witsy has a good question. Are you doing a fundraiser for the charities you do every season? Well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, it's a good question that you asked that. Let me go ahead and show you something. I was thinking of doing this, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to do this anymore. I'm just going to do it on a personal basis. I'm just going to go to the food bank. We already have our turkeys ordered and everything, and just do it and not put it on video. Don't really have too much time nowadays, to be doing that. and we already do have the turkeys ordered. But I was actually thinking of doing something like this, and let me go ahead and give you this proposition, see what you think. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so a while back, and you've probably seen it back there, all right? Because I've had it back there for a while. A while back, I went ahead and got this right here. This is a moose, and this is Alaska art, okay? This was made by an Alaskan with Alaska wood, and they made it here in Alaska. And I just think that this is the coolest thing. And there's a lot of little things here that have Alaska in it, right? A lot of little signs and stuff like that. That if you look close enough, you'll be like, oh, cool, that's something in Alaska or something like that. I was thinking that I was going to go ahead and do one of those, like super chat for the month. Like if you do a super chat, of like $5 or more, something like that, that at the end of the month, or maybe let's say by the 15th of November, right? So between now and the 15th of November, any super chats that are $5 or more, those super chats will go towards the food bank, which of course we're going to do at least 100 turkeys this year. And then hopefully we'll be able to afford to do the sides. I was going to be able to get the turkeys done, but I wasn't sure about the sides this year. But I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and open it today. Anyone that does a $5 super chat or more, will be entered to win this. And then what we'll do is we'll hold it until like the live stream that's in the middle of November. And I'll keep doing these live streams on Sundays like I have. I kind of like this time a lot. And then one person and one person only will win this. And I do believe that my wife picked up a small wood art that's made here in Alaska also that we can give to someone in second place. But that one right there is not guaranteed. I'm not sure if we have it actually still. And the shop is closed. The lady is closed for the season. So there you go. Here is a moose that's made with Alaskan wood by an Alaskan here in Alaska. Super chat $5 or more all the way through the 15th or the middle of November, whatever date that that live stream ends on, will win this right here. And the monies from the super chats will go to the food bank. This year, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, and I was kind of shocked when I heard this. I talked to the CEO, Miss Ann, of the food bank here in Fairbanks, and I was like, how are things looking this year? Are we going to meet our goal? And just to give you a little bit of perspective on how things have been getting worse little by little over the years, when we started doing these, food runs to the food bank, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we started with like 25 turkeys. And we've brought it up to 100 turkeys after the years. I think we did 50 turkeys a year after that, and then like 75 or 80, and then 100 and something. Now this year I think it's going to be a little over what we did last year. Last year we did like 102 or 103, and this year we're going to do at least 104, if not a little bit more. Well, the first year that we did it, their goal was to collect at least, I believe it was 1,100 turkey dinners, so that they can give a box to 1,100 families that needed a turkey with all the sides so that they can have a Thanksgiving dinner, right? And bringing it forward to this Thanksgiving, they need 3,500, I believe she told me. So it's gone up by roughly 200% over what it used to be in the past. So from 11 or 1,200 or so to roughly 3,500 families now need assistance in order to eat a turkey dinner on Thanksgiving. And I'll tell you what, if there was only one donation that I could do all year long, because those of you that have been here for a while know that we do the food bank a couple of times a year, usually right before school closes in late May or early June. We go ahead and try to do at least 100 bags, which are called protein bags, right? Or bone builder bags, they call them. And the reason they do that is because there's a lot of children who depend on school in order to get their meals in for the day. And when there's no school, those kids a lot of times go without eating for most of the day, and they're lucky if they eat one meal a day. So the bone builder bags are bags with about 1,000, 1,200 calories of mainly high protein items that they give out to these children's. and sent to them on a daily basis. And every year we try to do at least 100 of them. And usually they need about 700 to 1,000. So I think that we do our part, and we do it very well in providing about 100 bags for that effort. And then, of course, we do the Thanksgiving, which, in my opinion, if I only had one to do, it would be the Thanksgiving donation, because I believe that in America, we need to respect and we need to cherish our culture. And Thanksgiving is part of our culture. It's part of who we are, just like apple pie, just like cheeseburgers, just like baseball. And I would not want one family, if I could help it, on Thanksgiving to go without having a Thanksgiving meal, because to me, that is part of what being American is. But anyways, that's what we'll do. Please remind me, all right, as the next live streams come and go, so that I can go ahead and mention it again. And like I said, it's a very nice piece of art. And by the way, excuse me, by the way, this is not cheap. This is valued at, I think, a little over $100. Right, so this is valued, I think, at a little over $100, and it's very nice. And what will happen is I will go ahead, and after the winner is selected and or picked at random, it's going to be after the winner is picked, I'll go ahead and package it up and make sure that I get it to you all safely. And look at that, everyone is entering. So let me go ahead and do this. For every $5, you have one entry. So for example, let's see, Kidsy. Kidsy will have 2 entries, along with whoever did a $5 entry already. And I know I'll have this question asked. If it was $4.99, that's an entry, all right? That's the same as $5. You're probably using an Apple something or another, because Apple usually takes a penny away. But let me go ahead and let's see. Okay, so Yvonne, thank you very much, Yvonne. I think this is going to be great. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. With season's greeting and peace to all. Thank you very much. JT says, I want the moose. I hope you win, JT. That would be so awesome. Love you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Maestra Carmelita, Maestra Carmelita. And I see this looks like it. I'm not sure if that's from Mexico, MX. Thank you for that. But if you do win and you live out of the country, I will be able to mail that out of the country, because it's just a piece of art. So what I do normally is, if somebody wins that's out of the country, something that I can mail, I will go ahead and package it and I'll bring it to the post office, get the postage and everything paid for, and then take a picture of it so that you can have proof that I actually mailed it, right? Because sometimes those things don't work out. Kevin Griff says, for the mashed potato fund. Oh, I need a 2024 silver round. Hey, maybe we can do some of those too. Maybe I still have a few of those. I have to save some for my moderators. I still got to send them some. But maybe we'll do a little bit of those, right? I do have to get rid of those. So, okay, maybe we'll go ahead and do those for like second, third place or something like that. All right. Skipping Rocks, thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate it. Means a lot. Truly does. Okay, let's see. Let's bring it on down. What were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about American servicemen being used in order to cooperate with local law enforcement and being able to use lethal force on Americans. Hey, look at that. There's Tristan Davis. How you doing, Tristan? Good to see you, brother. Very nice to see you. Yeah, Pam Hewlin. My father served in Korea and in Vietnam. Glad to see he wasn't here. Well, oh man, yep. Our forefathers, ladies and gentlemen, must be rolling in their graves right now, because what's happening to the United States of America is a travesty. And the thing is that I hate to say this, but even if 45 becomes 47, things are going to be very tough, ladies and gentlemen, because mathematics, it doesn't matter to math. It doesn't matter to physics, all right? Who is sitting in office? Mathematics says that eventually the Federal Reserve note is going to become so worthless that you're not going to use it anymore, that we're going to have to use something else. And if it turns out to be the way that it's been in the past, meaning that the government has the choice as to what it is that we're going to use once our currency fails, do you think that they're going to choose a currency that has tangible value, a currency that will give the people the power over the government? Or do you think that they will choose a currency that will keep the power mostly in the hands of Washington, D.C.? Just ask yourselves, what do you think that they would do? Would they give the power to the people, or will they keep the power to themselves? So far, they've kept the power to themselves every single time. 1933, 1971, and 2008 are three times where they decided to keep the power for themselves after changing to a new system. And some are going to say, when did we change it to a new system in 2008? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I consider 2008 us changing to a new system because it's when I believe that our old system died, right? Our old monetary system, the one that we're still on now, died in 2008. It's when they started creating so much fiat currency that there's absolutely no turning back. This fiat currency under which we are governed today will not be here in my lifetime. I'm sure of that. All right. So when that happens, what are they going to choose? And I believe that if 45 does become 47, I believe that the powers that be that have a lot to worry about with a person that loves America being in office, they're going to panic and they're going to do something really bad. It could be many things, right? Look at what that bald guy from the WEF has been talking about. There will be a huge, huge cyber attack that will be like the cyber, not like the 9/11, as far as cyber attacks go. We are going to lose power for so many days. These guys are telling us what's going to happen. It's just that they like to tell us well ahead of time, right? They're telling us way ahead of time what's going to happen, right? So I would say that you should pay attention to what they say, because I would rather be prepared today and nothing happen for 10 years than to try to go and buy some toilet paper and bang someone over the head with a toilet paper because it's the last one because I failed to prepare, and I was just using that as metaphor, right? But you know what I mean. You're better off being prepared 10 years early than trying to start preparing one day too late. And that's just a matter of fact. Let's see. Let me say thank you again, Garden Girl. Oh, isn't that nice, Garden Girl? If I win, please give mine to JT. That's awesome. Maybe next year when they come back and I'll start doing. I got these at it's called at Pioneer Park where I got these from, right? I got this from Pioneer Park. Okay, it's what it's called. And there during the summer, they have people that open up little shops. It's almost like a farmer's market, but it's not for like fruits and vegetables. It's for different people that have different skills. They open up little shops where you can go and get things, and that's one of them right there. But thank you, Garden Girl. That's very generous of you, by the way. Uh, Thank you very much, Storm Weather. Thank you. And look at this. LB Ramirez is in the house. Mashed potato fund. And let's say thank you very much to Gary Huffman. Thank you for that. You see what you started? Who's the one that asked me about the fund? Evita. Let's see. Evita. Thank you, Evita. Where are you at? Sorry, but that moose must be Junior's, JR's Christmas gift. It has his name written all over it. Well, let's see. Maybe next year I'll get several of those, like different kinds. They actually had one there that was very, very nice. That was the shape of the state of Alaska. And it had a whole bunch of little things in there that was really cool. So I'll keep that in mind. If you all like that much, maybe next year we'll go ahead and do something like that. But Yvonne, thank you. If I didn't say thank you already. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, let's see. I'm Chi, Ghana Club Chicago. This guy is a con man. I'm conning you out of all your super chats, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, goodness. Well, hey, listen. All right. I mean, maybe he just hasn't been here long enough. He or she. Maybe you haven't been here long enough. But if you think I'm a con man, then maybe you shouldn't be here. But thank you, anyways. The more comments, the better it is for the algorithm. Uh, I mean, I guess I can probably do that. Give away Ulu knives also. The only problem is it gets a little confusing as far as me having to verify that you're at least 18 years old or older, since it's a knife, right? And also maybe being able to send it overseas. Let's see. Okay, I got to bring it down some because I'm falling behind. Okay, let's go ahead and open it up. Open it up to anything you may want to talk about. What time is it? We're almost at an hour. We'll spend a few more minutes, and we'll go ahead and open it up to anything that you all want to talk about. And what I'll do is at the end of this live stream, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you very much to all of the super chatters again. All right, just to make sure that I didn't miss any of you. Oh, great question. How is Grayman? Grayman is doing well. I actually called him yesterday. When was it? Saturday? No, not Saturday. I think I called him on Friday, and he said he was doing well. I was able to talk to him. It's funny. He said they have electricity and everything. He didn't lose electricity or nothing. And I said, "Oh man, you must be so disappointed." And he said, "Yeah, man, I was kind of like hoping that I'd be able to use all my preps." He says, "I have all these power banks and I was going to be able to hook up my house and everything." And I'm like, only a prepper would be disappointed that the lights didn't go out during a hurricane. But he's doing well. His father is also doing well. All right. He said his father is doing really good. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Minuteman, why in the world did you ask that? Unfortunately, yes, we did get some snow and it did stick. And here this coming week, I believe, or if not later on next week, we're supposed to get like 4 days of snow in a week. Not heavy snow, not like a lot of snow, but like an inch and a half per day. But that stuff accumulates. So it's going to be time pretty soon to go ahead and hook up the plow to the truck. Linda Bob asks, how is Michael doing? He's doing really well. He's getting big and he's all over the place. All right. So he's very active. Let me see. Is Nutrient Survival going to help with the food pantry again this year? You know what, YTU? I don't think I'm going to ask anyone for any help. I mean, the super chat thing that we're doing, that's 100% voluntary. And I'm actually giving something away for that. And whatever it is that we accumulate, you'll have my word. I'll even let you know how much it is, that it will go to the food bank. However, I'm not going to ask any businesses or anything like that to donate anything. And the reason is because this year has been a really tough year, and I think that everyone is feeling it, even businesses are. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave it between us. If you all want to do a super chat, that's the only thing. And I just decided it during this live stream that I'm going to be using to go toward the food bank. That's it. Whatever this race is, and that's it. I've already got enough super chats here to pretty much pay for the moose. All right. Although I do have to consider taxes being taken out of it because I don't claim any charity on my taxes. I don't like to play that game. I'm not going to play the game with the federal government, telling them, oh, I gave this much in charity. I shouldn't be. I don't play that game. I do the charity because I want to do it. Right. I've never claimed any charity that I've done in my taxes. All right, and I won't. Let's see. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm not going to ask anyone to do that. I will be asking some, maybe about 4 or 5 of our sponsors, our partners, to give me a few things to give away for our Christmas bash. But even that is going to be limited this year. All right. Let's see. Alicia Campbell, how are you doing? What is a good but cheap solar panel for the OPS 1800? I'll tell you right now what's a good solar panel, but you're going to have to get a converter from MC4 to 8 millimeter. All right. Take a look at a video that I did that's easy to find. And the title goes something like, these are the cheapest Amazon solar panels, something like that. And those solar panels are actually pretty decent solar panels for the price. I believe I remember paying like $52.50 per solar panel, 100 watt each. Right. So if you grab yourself 3 or 4 of those solar panels for a couple $100, you're getting about 400 watts of solar for a couple $100. Are they as efficient as the Opus solar panels? No, they're not. But it's still 4 solar panels. I think they're about 75 to 80% efficient. So you're looking at 80% of 400, about 300 watts, 320 watts. you're going to have coming into your solar generator for like $200. That's not bad at all. Obviously, depending on how the sun is, how much sun you're getting. But go check that video that I did. I don't know, it was a few months back, but just put the cheapest solar panels on Amazon on my channel, and you should be able to find them. And the good thing about those solar panels is that they're the flexible ones. All right, so they're the ones that you can bend, that you can maybe glue to a wall or silicone to a wall or something. I think they're really good solar panels for the price. Oh, that's funny. So I'm glad that this time works well for you, Patricia. That's good. Nishka, that would be great. That would be awesome. But send 6 of them because I want one for myself. Nishka says, I have over 100 prepping books in PDF format, and I can send you 5 memory sticks with the books in them for the giveaways for fundraising. I can send them to you this week. Please let me know. Actually, you know what? Nishka, I would really like you to send those to me. And my address is in the bottom of the description of all of my videos. All right. So you can check my address on down there. Right. It's a P.O. box. But I would like to give those away like for our Christmas giveaway, to tell you the truth. I think that would be great. I think that whatever it is that we get for that moose is going to help. Right. It's going to help a few families have their sides for their turkey that we're getting. All right. So I would love to give those away during our Christmas bash giveaway. Lori asked, how is your diabetes? Are you still eating all meat? I would say that about 90% of my calories come from protein. About 10% or so come from carbohydrates, but not bad carbohydrates, like not stuff that's really bad for you, right? It's a banana, an apple. Let me see. Rarely, maybe once a month, once every 2 or 3 weeks, I may have a rice dish because I love rice and I'm not going to stop living. All right. I very, very, very rarely have bread anymore. Right. And it's doing okay. Right. It's doing all right, ladies and gentlemen. It's under control. Right. But thank you for asking. Alan Greenspan asks, ever buy from Morel Pottery in Fairbanks? No, I have not. I haven't heard of them. First time. May have to look them up. Let's see. Let's bring it down some. Band again. How you doing? All the way from the UK. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. Dim Bula. How are you doing? Story from Tennessee. I sent a mate a 35-watt solar to charge his phone. Worked. I guess worked a treat. I guess it worked well. To charge a phone and flashlights. Yeah, those little 35-watt solar panels, they're really handy to have just for that. I have one of them and I put it in my vehicle just in case I ever need it to hurry up and use it to charge my phone in an emergency or something like that. Kitsy Witsy asks, are you going to do any videos for storing away preps for like keto or carnivore? I really don't do those because pretty much I've always said that you have to put away what it is that you eat, right? So if you don't eat cake, don't put away cake. I think it's a good idea to put away and diversify no matter what. Even if I am diabetic, should I put away some cake mix? Well, yeah, my family can have some. We can use it for barter. If we have the room and we have enough of the stuff that we already eat, we can use it for barter. But definitely my preps in the household have changed a little bit to a more protein dense prep than having as much carbs as we used to have. But we didn't get rid of the stuff that we had that has a lot of carbs, like pasta, like rice, like oats. and things like that. Why? Again, we can use those to barter. We can always eat them as a last resort. And every once in a while, it's just nice to have a treat, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you still have to live, all right? With whatever chronic illness you may have, you still have to live. So that's pretty much why I haven't done specifically like a video on, hey, this is what I store because I'm on keto or I'm on carnivore, because it's not just what I store. I don't just store meat. I also have a family that's not in the same situation that I am, and we store stuff for them. And again, every once in a while, nothing wrong with it. Spirit Wolf Moon Dancer, what is the best way to build a home? Well, I think that you have to do your homework and know exactly what you want ahead of time. When I built my home, it was a little more out of necessity than anything else because I didn't want to have a mortgage and we had a limited amount of time, right? So for the last several years after we've been living in our home, there's been little things that we've had to change here and there, a couple of things that we had to correct that I did wrong because I never built anything before. So I think that if you have the opportunity to do a lot of research and look into exactly what you need and also what you want and learn how to do it 100% correct the very first time, I think you'll be much better off. All right. I don't regret building our home because, again, it allowed us to be debt free. And it's been 8 years already and it still holds heat. It still doesn't leak. Everything in it still works. For those of you that don't know, we just redid our kitchen. We actually transferred our kitchen from the small kitchen that we had before to a bigger kitchen. And we actually just ended up taking the rest of the old kitchen cabinets out and paying them forward yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday. We took the rest of the kitchen cabinets and sink. I even paid forward with those things, my old reverse osmosis system that was in there. So the new one is a lot nicer, of course, because my wife had her hands in that mostly, right? But I'm glad that we did it, and now we can move forward with that part of the house as far as making it what it is that we want to make it next. But yeah, just do your research and learn how to do it right. All right. Yarn Prepper, we're not going to be live tomorrow with Gray. All right. I'm not sure if Gray's going to be live or not, but we're going to maybe, all right, this is a maybe change our day to Wednesday. Okay. Maybe. And it has more to do with me than with Gray Man. But we're going to have to see. We're going to have to give it another a couple of weeks, maybe a month before we decide exactly what we need to do. All right. So thanks for asking. Okay. Fluffy Otter, thank you very much. Thank you for that. I love Keystone meats. Keystone is, in my opinion, the best canned meat that there is. Why? I really love their ingredients. Their ingredients are high quality beef or meats, whatever meat it is that they package, and sea salt. That's it. They don't put water in there. They don't put nothing. Yes, when you open your Keystone meats, there's some broth in there, but that's the natural broth from the meat itself. I think that their meat products are outstanding. The only problem that I have with them is that they're so darn expensive now. I remember the old days when I used to do my payday preps and I was like, hey, look at this. I picked up this can or 2 or 3 cans of Keystone meats for $4 or whatever, $4.99 or $4.95, whatever it was. Now you can't say that, and I believe you'll never be able to say that again. So now I lean toward, if I want to store canned meats, I lean toward more pressure canning it myself, or I really do like the canned meat that Costco sells. I like their canned beef. Of course, I like Spam. I like the chicken that they sell. And I really like the albacore tuna and the salmon that they sell in a can. So, and I really like if you haven't tried the sardines that they sell, they are outstanding quality. The ones that come like in a yellow package, outstanding quality. They don't taste fishy at all. Great source of protein. And also they have pretty much all of the omega-3s that you need in them for your daily. Very good stuff. Amazing Grandma, how you doing? Good to see you. Sula Dean, I wanted a generic solar panel to go in my Opus, but could not figure out the connectors to buy. So what you need to buy is if you have an Opus of the Legacy series, meaning the ones that are like this right here. Let me show you. Let me make sure my moose doesn't fall because I have it propping it up. If you have an Opus like this is my little Mighty Mouse. I still use it, ladies and gentlemen. I still use my Opus products. And let me mention this again. Anyone that lives in Fairbanks that's looking for a solar generator, I need to recoup some of the money that I spent on shipping. Because now whenever I review a solar generator, I have to pay for most of the shipping so that it can get here to Alaska because it's through a special shipping company called Carlisle. All right. So if you're in the market for one, send me an email and maybe you can check out the ones I have that I'm selling. I'm not selling all of them. I'm just selling some of them to recoup some of those funds. But anyways, if you have one of these and you have to charge it with an 8mm, where is it? Right here. And you need to charge it with an 8mm. If you get an off-brand solar panel that has MC4 connectors, all you have to do is get a splitter that connects to MC4 with an 8mm input. That's it. They're like less than $10. Simple as that. Okay. So, Sula Dean, I hope that helps you because it's literally like a $5 or $10 a wire. So from MC4 to 8mm, if you have a Legacy. If you don't have a Legacy, like the ones that are orange, also, right? If you don't have one of those and you have one of the newer ones, one of the Mega series, then what you want to do is you want to get one from an MC4 connector, which is your generic solar panels, and then the other end that plugs into the Mega, like one of these guys right here, like the Mega series, is going to be an Anderson connector, which has a little red and black input port. Okay, I hope that helps. Oh my goodness, a Cuban sandwich would be so good, but a real Cuban sandwich. All right. I've seen some Cuban sandwiches here in Fairbanks in the past that they say is a Cuban sandwich. No, no Cuban sandwich. A real Cuban sandwich would be so awesome. I would definitely go get off the wagon. I would definitely fall off the wagon for a Cuban sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. All right, all right. Let's see. Putin says, I opened some 25-year-old survival food number 10 cans this week that were made by a reputable company, packed in 2011. They must have been packed in 2011. Okay, they were 25-year survival. Okay, so they were packed in 2011 and stored in a very hot room in the South. I think the heat is probably what did it. You're right. The heat temperature control is very important. I think you wanted to say. And I agree with that 100%. Right? The heat probably did it. I think temperature is the biggest thing that you need to be concerned with when storing long-term food storage, right? That is because heat will kill it. Heat will destroy it over time. Oh my goodness, we're at an hour and 14 minutes. Okay, okay, let's see. Yeah, and Nightman's wife says, AP, any ideas on keeping rust off canning rings and lids? The only thing I would say is the room that you have it in is too humid. So there's too much humidity in the room that you have it in. So I believe that if you went ahead and seal that room off and put a dehumidifier in there, that it would probably help a lot. Or you can get some of that Rid X, I think it's called, is a little can, a little plastic can that has like salt on the top and it collects moisture and it settles to the bottom. I forget what the name. I think it's called Rid X or something like that. But yeah, it's the humidity in there is too high. Nightman's wife. That's why they're getting rusty. So you need to find a way to be able to control that. YTU865. Thank you. Can your address under your receipt? Yeah, they should be able to. I mean, you don't have to send me anything, but I mean, I always say that, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact is, I can't stop anyone from what they want to do. But yes, I believe that you can receive packages through there. Okay, let's bring it on down because we have to end this live stream sometime. Although it's been a really good time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here. Let's see. Callie Robb says, my mother in law lives in Fairbanks, but she is here in Michigan visiting. She went to the Upper Peninsula and said that in the last 30 years she's been in Alaska, she has never seen an aurora like that. Oh, my goodness. And I missed it where I live because the overcast, the clouds were so darn thick. Heck of a shame. Derek Gilbert. How you doing, Derek? And Amber? How you guys doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. For those of you that don't know, Derek and Amber, they visited Fairbanks here, I don't know, a little over a month ago now, I think. And we met up and had some food, took them over to the coin shop, had a pretty good time we were together for about a couple of hours or so. So it was really, really, really fun meeting you all. Liz Watson, a real Cuban sandwich. First of all, it's got to be in that Cuban bread, right? That they go ahead and squish, right? Heat it. But let's see. I believe that there's a little bit of mustard involved with a pickle involved. I believe it's Swiss cheese that they put in there, ham and lechon or pork. I think those are the ingredients. Slap them in there together. You take the sandwich, you put it like in a grinder, right? In Michigan they call them grinders. When you press them down in a heat press them down until they're nice and roasted on both sides or brown on both sides, and there's your Cuban sandwich. I believe that's everything that goes in it, and they are really good. But you have to use good quality ingredients too, not crap. Everyone's asking, what's in a Cuban sandwich? If there's any Cubans in here, let me know if I got that right. I'm pretty sure that I got that right. Hey, Alan Greenspan, I don't know why you keep asking. I answered your question. I said that I don't believe that I've been to that pottery place. But it's your cousin. That'll be pretty cool if I go in there. Maybe I have to look for it. Dorothy, thank you. Let me bring it down. I really do need to call it good on this one. I'm pretty sure it's Swiss cheese. Yeah, Brent, I'm pretty sure it's Swiss cheese that a Cuban sandwich has. Let me know. Anyone in here? Let me know if it's let me see. Pernil, okay. So here we go. Let's see how I did as far as what a Cuban sandwich has. A Cuban sandwich, Cuban bread or pan criollo, pernil, which is roasted pork, all right? Ham, I got the ham right. Swiss cheese, pickles, and mustard pressed on a griddle. There you go. Hey, I'm not Cuban, but I know my Cuban sandwich, all right? The reason is when I grew up in New York, there was a Cuban restaurant not far from us, and it made sandwiches like that, and they were delicious. Kevin says Cuban sandwiches are sandwiches made by Cubans. Oh goodness. Eddie Bordeaux is in the house. How you doing, Eddie? Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, there you go. Rakamas, how you doing? Remember when I said Ridex to get rid of the humidity? It's not Ridex, it's damp rid. All right, damp rid. I know there was a rid in there somewhere. Okay, so damp rid. And that really does work. You put it in an area that's a little humid, it really collects that water from the air. There you go. There's confirmation. All right. I got my Cuban sandwich right. I'm very happy about that. All right, let's go ahead and call it good. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to say thank you to everyone that left a super chat. Now, for those of you that just joined in and are wondering what's going on, is any super chat that's $5 or more, we're going to go ahead and give this away. All right, and around the middle of November or so, before I do the run to the food bank for Thanksgiving. Okay. And whatever money I raise from the super chats is going to go to buying the sides for the Thanksgiving dinners that we're going to bring to the food bank. I pretty much have the turkeys covered already, but we're going to go ahead and use these funds to get the sides. So thank you to everyone that contributed. Let's say thank you very much, Dorothy. Derek, thank you very much. YTU, thank you. Thank you, Fluffy Otter One. Appreciate it. Snow Angel is in the house. Thank you very much. Thank you, Evita and JR. Garden Girl, thank you so much. Storm Weather, thank you again. For the potato fund from LB, thank you, LB. Gary, thank you. D Foley, thank you. Skipping Rocks, Jeff Frummel, Kevin, Maestra, thank you. Let me see. Pappy, thank you very much. JT, thank you. Kidsy. I think it was Kidsy that started this, by the way. Yvonne, Chris, R. Heath. No, I think it was R. Heath who started this, asking what are we going to do with the turkey fund this year? And Miss Mother Trucker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for everything. And thank you very much. Oh, no. Thank you very much, Dorothy. Thank you for that. I am new. This is, I finally figured out. Okay, thank you very much for that. I truly do appreciate it. And stick around, okay, Dorothy, because if you are new, anyone that's subscribed to the channel and is a new community member, like within the last couple of weeks, or if this is your first live stream that you've been at on the chats section, stick around to our outro because we're going to go ahead and put up the name of anyone that says I'm new. If you say I am new in all caps, we're going to put your name up on the screen so they can see your name and everyone can welcome you to our community, right? So we normally do that after each live stream to say hello to the people that have just joined us, right? So again, thank you all for joining in. I hope that you have a great week starting off and that you've had a great weekend as well. Other than that, let me go ahead and get our outro ready. And here we go. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I am out.